Thanks for staying with us. This is Sunrise. Well, Mrs. Kitty, you will absolutely love our next guest.
Okay.
A true global academic.
Nice.
First, she earned her bachelor's in human rights and social work from the University of the West Indies via Toronto Metropolitan University. She then completed her Erasmus Mundus Masters in Advanced Development in Social Work across the UK,
Wow.
Denmark, Portugal, and France. Now she's a social worker and international development professional pursuing her PhD at the University of Luxembourg.
Wow.
Currently, she's in Australia working with the University of Queensland in her case study. So all while mentoring Jamaicans through the Diaspora Mentorship Academy. Welcome to Sunrise, Miss Jordanne Edwards.
Oh,
Jordanne.
wow.
I don't know if you're using academia to become a globetrotter or if you're just a globetrotting academic. I don't know which one is which. But it's like you get into the university, you start studying, and then you say, no, I can't study this here. I need to go and study this over there. And you have to fund
Don't
it.
tell my secret.
It's brilliant. It's a brilliant business model.
It was such a happy accident.
Tell us about yourself, first of all. Where's Jordanne Edwards from in Jamaica? Locate yourself for us.
Yeah, sure. So I grew up all around Kingston, Jamaica, and then for
Not
a
a
certain period of
surprise.
time, I lived in and then I lived in Yala, St. Thomas. Then we moved back to Kingston, so sort of country girl and city girl all at the same time.
Wow, you see it there? You see it
Yeah,
there?
that's where it started.
I get it now. I get it now.
And then went to the Arden High, which I must say,
Big up Arden, big up Arden. And so at some point in your time at the University of the West Indies, you said, I could do this in Canada. Why?
Yes, that's interesting. Actually, I always wanted to do social work practice in Canada because they had a human rights-based perspective, and I was interested in that. And UWI, I'm pretty sure they probably still have it. They have a really great exchange program that comes with a scholarship. And so ahead of time, I knew that I wanted to pursue that. And I got the grades to get in, and I went to Canada, and I never stopped. Once I got to Canada, I was like, this is it, this is it. And as a coordinator at the time told me, she's like, she saw me on our first meeting after Canada, and she was just like, oh, you have that look, like the bug got to you. And I was like, yes, the travel bug has hit me, and I've never stopped since.
Wow, absolutely amazing. So this journey now of you being in Australia, talk to us about why did you decide to pursue your PhD at Luxembourg University, University of Luxembourg, but you're going to Australia.
The other side of the world, yeah,
Yes.
I know. It's so far here. I'm already like 15 hours ahead of you.
Trust me, I know.
So actually, it was just almost a ripple effect. So I did my master's, and for my master's, I did a thesis in Paris on trauma in a community context. And I said, if I ever end up doing a PhD one day, I would love to like continue that topic. And so I ended up like looking for PhD programs, and I found a really great supportive program in Luxembourg. And I had already lived in Europe for 4 years. So it wasn't too much of a big like change or jump for me to decide to do that. And then Australia, I always was interested in like indigenous communities and social justice movements, and Australia is massively big on that. And so I decided to do 2 case studies, one in Luxembourg, one in Australia, to compare how social justice movements happen around the world.
Is it that you're following the literature, and so the literature is saying you should go here or you should go there, or the Paris, or you know, all of these different places that you're going, or is it just that, you know, you have an interest in those particular places?
No, it's a little bit of both. So, for example, with Australia, I've always been interested in like social work practice and human rights development here. But also at the same time, I've just been going with a lot of, it's just a mixture of things. I've been going with my intuition, with just doing research and seeing the different spaces that are working on my topic and my interests, and also just going with the flow, and also networking. How could I forget that? Over the years, I've met people from all over the world, and so it's given me an impression of the different spaces around the world and where I could possibly go. But honestly, I just go with what lights me up. I wish I had something like more strategic to tell you, but I just pray about what I want to do, where I want to go, and it's always revealed to me in due time. So that's really my method.
I love that.
And you move with that. I think that's so powerful. And I wanted to find out from you, Jordan, because I'm looking at your face and you look like you're like 2 years old. So I'm like, you look like Jordan started university when she had 1, because how is this young lady achieving so much already? And that is also very encouraging for, you know, a young lady or a young man watching, or even somebody who is more mature, that listen, the world is your oyster and you can be and do what you want and go out and explore. We oftentimes, though, Jordan, hear that, you know, travel broadens your horizon. How has traveling to these different places and studying in these different places, how has that helped to shape who you are as a Jamaican, as a young lady, as somebody who wants to help the world be a better place?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, I will say I very proudly turned 30 last year. So I'm not probably as young as I look, but thank you for saying that. I can't believe that Miss Kitty called me super young. So I'll take that with me. But in terms of like what I've learned, how much time do we have here? It's honestly changed the trajectory of my life and just my perspectives in terms of the values that I have in life, the friends that I keep, the colleagues that I lean to, the kind of work that I do. It's really expanded just my view of the world. I see so many connections in different things. And also, I really want to just take the time out to just say how important it is to, I think honestly, as Jamaicans, to charter uncharted territories that we don't often see. I remember when I literally started this, my sister, big up yourself, Danielle, she went on a French program for 1 year, and it really inspired me as a younger sister to just be like, oh, is that possible? Because I think oftentimes in Jamaica, there's this like narrative that Jamaicans can only run away, and that's the only opportunity we have abroad. And like immigration is always framed in this weird, heavy way. And that's true, and we need to acknowledge that. But at the same time, there's so many other possibilities that are open to Jamaicans. And I think because we don't often see that in the public eye, we play small.
Yes.
And that's one of the biggest things I try to like scream from the rooftops. It's like, you can, anything you imagine, seriously go for it, even if no one else has done it before.
Indeed. I absolutely love that,
Indeed.
Jordan. We're not just artists. We're not just about Bob Marley. We're not just about being an athlete. We can be so much more. But let me just ask you quickly, twofold before we go, because I know CSEC just came out and CAPE and so on, and a lot of young people are trying to find their footing in the world. And they may want to, you know, study all over the world, just like you, but they may not know how to. Do you do any kind of mentorship or guide them as to how they can do that? And also, what one Jamaican magic do you sprinkle around the world when you go?
That's such a great question. So I'm a mentor in the Jamaican Diaspora Mentorship Academy, which just launched a couple months ago. And I'm so excited to meet my mentee, Manny. She's based in St. Mary, and I've just always wanted to pay it forward. And I would say to anyone finishing, I'll quickly say a little joke. I did, going to Ireland, I went to school with all these overachievers, and most of my friends there ended up going into law and medicine. And I remember when I wanted to do social work, people were like, you want to help people for a living? And I was like, yeah, so what? Who cares? And I just ended up doing it anyways. And so that's my advice for young people is no matter what, it could be to start a bag juice business. It does not matter what you want to do. As long as it really lights you up, please, please, please go for it. No watch, no face. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, my love. Thank you so much, Jordan. Edwards, I wish you all the best. Continue to soar and be as beautiful as you are, and be a beacon of hope and light for those who are watching as well. Representation does matter. All right. That was Jordan Edwards, social worker and international development professional. Will be in the kitchen cooking up.
I like it.
And healthy meals with Chef Samantha George. So don't go nowhere. We'll have your belly full right here. So it's still and always is sunrise.